Welcome to the Yeah Buddy Experience podcast. If you're looking for a podcast to motivate you and get you on track to overcoming obstacles and challenges, this podcast is definitely for you. Get ready for powerful and inspirational goodness, brought to you by your hosts, Mike and Johnny.
Yeah, buddy!
Let you introduce Emma.
Cool. So we're very fortunate today to have an actor, model, dancer, and overall inspirational, motivational lady, which is Emma Bryant.
Oh, thank you. That was a nice introduction.
I know, right? I could take a bow.
You missed comedian out of it, but
Yes, sorry.
you need to put that in.
We haven't told any jokes yet, so
No.
we didn't know if you were. Come on.
Okay.
How was the journey in?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I mean, it was the first time I've actually done a shoot or like anything involving entertainment that's not in my house
Okay.
since lockdown. So, yeah, I mean, obviously wearing the face coverings on public transport, it gets really, really hot, especially as I came from Oxford Circus. And the underground is like boiling.
So how
Really hot.
it's the first time you've done anything since the lockdown. So how has that affected you?
Ugh,
Everything
well,
that
I've
you've been
done a lot of work from home. Like I've recorded a monologue for a comedy monologue for a web series. I've done a few like podcasts and interviews. I've been doing lots of writing because I write for an American lifestyle magazine. And yeah, just basically some acting stuff, interviews, podcasts, radio shows from home. But this is the first outing,
Out and
work-based outing that I've had.
You say with the face coverings on the public transport, because I've not been out on public transport myself
Same
since
here,
this whole thing.
driving everywhere.
So does it feel different?
Yeah, it feels weird because obviously, I don't know, it just looks kind of scary, just everybody with masks.
Is it just a bit dystopian?
It's weird. It's like something from the Netflix show Black Mirror.
Yes.
It's very much like that. I was just saying it to my friend earlier.
I said I was speaking to someone about that yesterday actually, because they held back the release of the latest series of Black Mirror because what's his name, Brooker? I think the guy that writes it.
Okay, what's happening?
Yeah. But they held back on releasing the new series because it was eerily similar to what's happening in the world now.
What an
Okay.
episode of it was.
Just the whole concept of it. So they were kind of like.
I'm going to binge watch Black Mirror like the next few days.
Yeah, I've not watched the latest series, so I'm.
I was like
You don't watch the
debating
latest
it.
The latest stuff is awesome. There's one episode, I'm not going to spoil it for everyone, but there's one where you watch it and you kind of go, oh my god. Can't spoil it any more than that.
All right, well,
What's
yeah.
it called?
That's all of them.
It's the gaming one with the two black guys.
Is it Striking Vipers?
Possibly?
That's the one that my best friend said.
You gotta watch.
Yeah, one of my best friends was like, "That's the one you've got to watch."
Yeah, no, that one you watch it because I don't know. Used to play games. I'm sure you used to play
I
games
still
growing
do,
up.
yeah.
Okay, there you go. And then there's a moment where you're kind of going, "Shit, what's going on here?" Yeah, you've got to watch it. Watch it, and then we can discuss it.
Oh,
probably
I've had
another
so many
Alright.
people saying I've got to watch that episode.
Yeah,
Like, I won't do it tonight because I'm going to be too tired. But
It's hilarious.
tomorrow
Oh, it'll be a
I
late
will
one.
do.
When Emma, when I've been just researching and looking a little bit into you
Yeah.
and what you do, I'm fascinated. I've got so much.
Don't know what you googled, but
Well,
Inspirational,
yeah,
motivational
inspirational.
stuff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. It's
is it really? I've not been feeling so inspirational lately, but
there's so much stuff that we could essentially talk about. So I'd really just love to hear your viewpoint on stuff. But
yeah, you
I
ask me
think,
questions, and if there's anything I don't want to answer, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
But to be quite fair, I'm quite open to talking about most things.
One of my brothers, you know what I'm going to say. Let's get the boring stuff out of the way first of all. One of my brothers is a massive Game of Thrones fan.
Oh, right, yeah, okay.
Right,
I
so
thought you were
we'll
going to
just-
say something
Did
else.
you
No,
see
no, no,
the
we'll
look
go-
on the face? I was then worried.
We'll go straight into that. We'll go straight into that.
Game of Thrones, yeah, that was cool.
The ending. Did you have anything to do with the ending?
I never watched it.
You've never watched it?
I didn't even watch the episode that I was in.
Really?
No.
What was the experience like?
It
How
was
did it
quite
come
a while ago now. It was it was one of my friends. She'd worked on the show and they'd asked her if she knew, I think it was male and female actors or people that didn't have tattoos or piercings or anything that were natural. And didn't mind implied nudity, which it was, although I wasn't really naked in it, but some people were. But I was okay with it, and I didn't expect to get chosen for it.
So you're not a Game of Thrones fan?
No.
It was just, it was work.
No, it's
it was
too
work.
gory. I don't like it. I remember I looked it up because my friends were like, "Wow, that's so cool," and I put a Game of Thrones into YouTube, and it was like Gorvious deaths. I was like, "No,
Not for you.
Mental state's not for that at the moment."
No, but I can't pick your brains about it then because
No, I've never watched it.
So many people were disappointed with the ending.
I don't even know what the ending was.
Well, I'm not going to go over it now.
Well, I don't know the ending. I watched 4 episodes of season 1, 2 of season 2, and then 1 of season 3, and that's where I stopped.
Okay.
I just found it was like
watched
soft
any.
porn with swordplay, and I just was not.
That's probably why my brother likes it so
Yeah,
much.
it
then
It
maybe,
kind
I
of
don't
like
know.
is.
It didn't do it for me. I was just kind of.
Apparently.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
It was amazing, but yeah, we digress. You haven't even watched the episode that you were in.
No, I haven't.
I'll watch the episode you were in.
What
I'll,
episode was you in?
I'll critique it.
Season 4, episode 6.
Season 4.
Quite
episode
near the
6.
beginning, I think.
Okay. Well, you should write that down, John.
Season
You can-
4.
I look really different though. I've got brown hair, like long curly brown hair. They put a wig on me. My hair's natural anyway, but like
Episode 6.
they wanted it darker.
Right, I'll watch that and give you some feedback.
Sounds good to me.
Brilliant. One of the other things I noticed when I was on there, because obviously you're acting now, as we said, stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's going to be thrown for a little while because venues are not.
Well, no, yeah, this is what I was saying. So with the whole lockdown, is there any stand-up that you can do
via Zoom.
web-based? Yeah.
I almost did, but it was a family-friendly one, and I struggle sometimes with my comedy to make it family-friendly. So I said it's probably better not to. And I'm a bit annoyed because I was supposed to be doing. I don't think I can say what show it's for, but it's for a major TV channel. I was supposed to be doing like new performers, even though I'm not. I don't know. I kind of am new. I hadn't been on there before, so it's like a performance showcase, new talent. And that's been put off like 2 times now. So I'm like, I really hope it's third time lucky when we do go back to filming. But hopefully they can do it. It just won't be in a live audience. They'll just film it and stream it. I'm hoping anyway, because yeah, I'm gutted about that. Like.
What's your so you say it's difficult for you to keep it family friendly.
What's the type of comedy you do?
Yeah, who's your
Just a bit more. I don't know. I don't look up to anyone because I don't want to be like the next anyone else. I'd rather be the first me, as cheesy as that sounds. But yeah, there was one time when I did a show at a pub in Kent, and it was quite edgy. Like, I don't know if you've watched any of my stuff, but it's all on YouTube. And I got there and I'd like written, it was what, 20 minutes worth of stuff, and there were like kids in the front row. So I said to my friend who was like the DJ, I said, what shall I do? I can't change any of this. And he was just like, they brought kids. They shouldn't have brought kids. These kids shouldn't be in the pub. If they come in the pub regularly and they've got parents who bring them into the pub like that, then they're probably going to be immune to anything you say or won't understand it. So I just did it anyway. And it was the weirdest audience I've ever performed to.
Were they laughing or not laughing? How did it go?
The kids were just like dancing with each other. It was quite distracting. But yeah, it was a very, very strange gig.
Did you say that was one of your first ones, or
That was actually my second ever.
your second ever? So
Nice.
with
Right in the deep end.
with the comedy, so that's something that's
Yeah.
relatively new to you.
Yeah, it's new to me. I've only been doing stand-up since it was mid 2017, and I've not really done that much because I did a couple of like open mics, and then my third ever gig was London Fashion Week.
Okay.
My third ever gig. So I was like, yeah, okay, now I've got that. And then I did one for Sky as well. I thought, yeah, maybe I'm not going to do so many open mic ones because if I get paid to do it, then yeah. And I took nearly a year out from doing stand up because this is a bit, I suppose this could go into the inspirational part. I had a really, really bad housing situation, or more like one of the people that I lived with, before I moved to my new house, which is in Barnet, and I love it. And basically I lived with someone, there's some legal stuff going on with it, so I can't be too specific, but one person that I lived with was really, really abusive, like in so many ways. It was absolutely horrible. And he just made me feel so shit and so bad, and was like, he was obsessed with me, and jealous of me, and it's just so bizarre.
Was that an old boyfriend or?
It's the guy I lived with.
okay.
But yeah, it was terrible. But I can't really disclose too much about him specifically. But He still stalks me pretty much online, so I guess he'll probably be listening to this.
Is this, so say, how long ago was this? Because I think you were modelling between. Did
Yeah.
you start modelling in 2013?
Yeah, early 2000s, about April 2013, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Early then, because I moved out of my parents that year. So yeah, 2013 from 2013 to 2015. I was in a really abusive relationship that was with a boyfriend. That was just horrendous. But the last situation that I was in, that was not that wasn't the ex. That was just someone I lived with.
Okay.
Who was really horrible. But yeah, just basically it was just a horrible environment, so filthy, really, really dirty. I mean, this guy would like just piss up the walls in the bathroom and stuff. He was
crazy.
pothead and
So this is
drinking and
this is the one in 2013, the early.
no,
the
this
the
is where
second
I've
one.
just come from. I moved to
Oh,
London
okay.
in
To get away
October.
from that.
Yeah,
Okay.
this was just recent. That came to an end in October.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved to my new house and I've been there for 8 months. But yeah, I mean, I lost all my confidence from that old house. It's so sad because it's like I built up all my confidence after my abusive ex.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just ended up in this house like this, what was really great at first. It was a nice big house. But obviously a couple of the people that came and went were just horrible. But yeah, I lost all my confidence again and I not completely built it up yet. I've got a lot of like confidence
You're
issues
doing very well.
still,
You've
but
done amazingly
Yeah.
well.
I think
From the
if-
stuff I saw online
Yeah.
and read through.
really.
To now, I was just like, oh my God, we've got to have her on.
Oh, that's
And I
so
wanna
nice. I
listen to
need
your
to hear
story.
that.
It's true.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
you've
this
done
is-
amazingly well. So for me, I'd class you as motivational and inspirational.
That is so
What
nice.
you're doing now
Yeah.
is awesome. So yeah.
I lost a hell of a lot of confidence.
I can
Essentially,
imagine.
this is what
I can
this
imagine.
platform is for.
Yeah.
Exactly. People such as yourself, and to be an example to show people, look, this is what
Can
I've
go
been
through
through.
stuff and progress.
This is where I am now.
Yeah.
And I think the best thing about it in its entirety is the fact that you're open enough to talk about it. So,
Yeah.
which is amazing because I wanted to go back to the initial relationship that you were in,
Yeah, the first one.
the first one, and because that kind of like coincided with your modelling career.
Yeah, because I was
So-
doing that primarily for work when
Yeah.
when I was with that guy.
I wanted to try and get an understanding from you, if you wouldn't mind, what it's kind of like to be in that situation
Oh.
when you're also in the modelling situation, because I don't know how that you hear some stories about the industry.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it good to you? Was it bad to you?
Well, to be fair, I worry about sounding ungrateful when I say that I didn't really enjoy it in the end, because I had quite a lot of success in it. I mean, I got Game of Thrones from it. I was in a film with James McAvoy, Phil, you know, the one where he's a police officer. I was in that film through that industry. But I kind of didn't really enjoy it overall. Just a lot of the people, like there's some proper weird people in that industry. I mean, you've got to look at some of them and just think, how did you progress into adulthood? How do you have a house? Like, how do you own houses? How do you have partners? Like, and I don't. But yeah, there was a lot of like two-faced people. I mean, I met some of my best friends through that. So my like 3 closest friends, no, about my 3 or 4 oldest closest friends that I actually met in that industry. So, yeah, I mean that's fantastic. But yeah, I mean a lot of the people I met, I mean seriously, some of these is like seriously mental. Some of the people that I met,
Well, I can imagine. The stories you hear.
really weird.
I'm sure that there must be.
Yeah, the
lots
stories that
going
I'm
on.
hearing at the moment, because one of my little brothers is a fashion model
Yeah.
at the minute, and he's just had his first billboard.
Oh, that's cool. I've
Um,
not really done any fashion because I'm not tall enough.
It's yeah, that's the reason I don't do it either.
Yeah.
I'm not tall enough.
Oh, it's 'cause you didn't have
Yeah,
ears.
no, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm sure he's just starting, so I'm sure I'll hear some stories from him about it. But I was just conscious because if you're in a relationship that wasn't great, at
Yeah.
the same time I was just like kind of interested to see if the modelling was an escape for you, to get away from the situation that you were in, or if you were in both situations at the same time.
Both at the same
I
time.
thought so, yeah.
Yeah, both at the same time. And yeah, that guy, my ex, was just alcoholic, drug addict,
Mm-hmm.
severely abusive. I think he's been in and out of prison for like years.
Mm-hmm.
and he's hurt so many more women. But there's a nice story that comes out of it though. He's got a baby with. So I can talk about this one really freely because it's all done. He's never going to come anywhere near me, so it's fine. So he's got a baby with this one woman, and I found her on social media because people were saying to me, "You need to speak to her," because they sensed that I was being abused, and she obviously she had as well. So I messaged her and I didn't hear from her for ages, and she thought I was just fishing for information or something. But then I think someone had said to her, "No, Emma is genuine." So I spoke to her, actually met her in person, actually met my ex's daughter. She does look like him though. And yeah, we've become really good friends. So that was one positive thing, and it shows that women can be mature, because instead of being like, "Oh, you were with my ex," or whatever, it was like, "Okay, this guy's an asshole," and I just left him at that point.
So they're no longer together.
No, they're no longer together.
Yeah.
No.
That whole situation.
They broke up ages ago. But he's like keeps messaging her and sending her really bizarre things on Facebook and stuff now. So making fake email addresses and sending weird
crazy.
stuff.
I'm lost on
I'm just glad he's not doing it. I mean, I'm not happy he's doing it to her, but I'm just like, I'm glad he's not doing it to me.
But I'm just lost on how that actually happened. So obviously you met this guy and you guys were dating.
Yeah.
Things were good. And then when does that happen? When does the first incident happen?
It was I'm trying to think when it was, because we got together in December 2013. I'd say it was probably around like March 2014 that I noticed, things were not okay, but I didn't really recognize it because I'm not very experienced in relationships.
Okay.
I'd only had one boyfriend before, really, when I was a teenager. I'd like dated a couple of guys, but not like full-on relationships. So I didn't really know. And also there was a lot of heavy drinking. Like I was an alcoholic for 2 years, about 2.5 years as well. So a lot of it was blinded by that. So we would drink together. And I don't know, because when I'm in a relationship with someone, I would just literally do anything for them.
Okay.
Like really. And I just wanted to make him happy. And then the more I felt that I wasn't making him happy because he was always angry at me, the more I started to just try and do anything really to like make him happy.
Yeah,
like even though people like that are not happy because they're mental.
Yeah, well, no, it sounds it, because
They're
I was
insane.
trying to wrap my head around that when we were doing a little research into yourself.
Yeah.
I was trying to get my head around that whole dynamic, because I would never ever hit a woman.
I think
I
one
would never
thing
do anything of that nature, and it's just for me, it's trying to get an understanding of how could you even do that in the first place, and then continue to do stuff of that kind of ilk. going
Yeah.
forward.
Because you're
Well, they've got no conscience. It's a mental illness. People
From their side.
People who are abusive. Yeah.
Well, it has to be, no? It has to
It's
be.
got to be some kind of like mental disorder, even though everyone was just like, no, he's just not a nice person. But yeah, I mean, I've met a lot of not very nice people, but in particular, my ex and the guy from my last house are particularly psychotic.
So you're doing. Are you an ambassador for Refuge?
Yeah,
UK?
and I speak to the media. I'll do interviews for magazines. I do presentations. I do like research projects for them. I just did one for the Co-op Bank,
Okay.
which was really nice. It was sponsored by Avon, the magazine. That was good. That was funny because that was a presentation that I did, and one of the women that was there, when she left, she said it was the first time and only time that she'd ever been to such a serious conference and actually walked out laughing because I made it humorous, because that is my style. Like I make jokes out of like everything, and I did think, ooh, maybe this isn't so good because I'm kind of joking, and it's meant to be really serious. It was about financial abuse, which is sadly something I've experienced really badly. But yeah. They really liked it, and I think I'm going to get the write-up and video for that quite soon. They messaged me a couple of weeks ago and said it was there
And how did
soon.
that come about? Did they contact you,
With
or-
Refuge, yeah, there was a story in it's this bad, I don't remember. Oh yeah, this can't remember what magazine it was. I'd been in a few national magazines talking about abuse, and I did one about financial abuse. And they contacted me. They obviously wrote to the magazine and they'd said, could they put me in touch? So they did. And then I had, initially it was just an over the phone conversation, and I did like an article for them. And then it just kind of, they offered me more work. They obviously, I think they were just testing me at first to see how well I present myself, how well I speak, how presentable and marketable, well, not marketable, but like, you know, am I the sort of person they want to represent them? Clearly they thought I was. So yeah, I've done quite a lot of stuff for them, and I hope to continue to do it because they're a great charity. They're really, really nice people. Well, obviously they're really nice people. They're a charity.
Yeah, some charities
they're
aren't.
pieces of shit.
Yeah, as soon as you said they're nice people, I was like, well, they should be nice people. My God, they're doing a good cause here.
Yeah. The reason I
gosh.
brought them up is I wanted to ask, because of the relationship that you were in and the experiences that you've had.
Yeah.
Now you're an ambassador for Refuge. Is when you're speaking to a woman, man, whoever might be in the situation that you found yourself in, how do you? I think what Michael was alluding to earlier is the fact that when you find yourself in that situation, people from the outside looking in will say, well, why don't you just leave them?
I had that quite a lot.
Yeah. So, but I completely appreciate, because I've seen it myself, why people don't. But
It's mind control, brainwashing, conditioning.
so when you have your talks with people of Refuge, that makes up obviously part of your discussion.
Yeah.
And so with yourself and your experience specifically, how did you manage to get to a point where you left?
Oh, to the point where I left. Well, I was very, I don't want to, well, I can go into it, but it's just quite a trigger to talk about sometimes.
You don't have
Christmas
to.
2014.
Yeah,
Oh, no, it's fine. I just won't tell. I'm not going to go into mass detail, but it's relevant. I was in hospital over Christmas 2014. And one of my friends called, well, she messaged me and she said, you're going to be dead by the time you're 30. And that kind of just struck me. And when I was recovering, I was like, because I was at home, I thought I can't go on like this because she's right. He's gonna kill me. Because I'm not the first woman or person, because he's hurt. He's just a violent person. He's hurt a lot of people before me, and obviously I'm not exactly strong. Well, I am quite strong, but I mean I'm not like big. I couldn't really fight back. So yeah, and he had disappeared for quite a while. He just went off. I don't know what he was doing, taking drugs with his housemates, I think, and all sorts of stuff. And then when he tried to come back, I didn't want him there. Then he went out and got himself arrested again. I think he was detained for a while. And whilst he was there, I removed the stuff from the house, sent it to his actual house, because he used to stay around mine a lot. And then changed the locks on my doors, and I said, no, that's it. And obviously he just bombarded me with weird messages at like 3 a.m. for quite a while. And I couldn't block his number because he would just get another SIM card. It was very peculiar. And then eventually he just left. He just left it alone. He just stopped contacting me. Very strange person.
I'm glad you got yourself out of it. I mean, what advice, if somebody's in the situation now that manages to listen to this podcast, what are the key points of advice that you would suggest to give to them? Who should they look for? Because I mean, we go onto Google and do a refuge search, and we hear about the Samaritans and stuff like that people can pick up the phone to. But in your opinion, what's the best thing that you can do?
I think the helplines are fine, because I've obviously called them quite a few times, Samaritans included, over the last 7 years. But I personally find that talking is good, but I think for someone to get out of a situation, you need people actually physically around you that will help you get out. Like, I'm very lucky because I've got a massive support network. I've got a pretty big social circle. I'm a very social person. So I had a lot of people around me. But the first time when I was leaving that abusive relationship, I didn't really have any help from like local welfare services or anything. I thought I got treated quite badly, I think. I got treated really badly when I was in hospital. I don't know why, probably because it was alcohol. Alcohol was involved in it. And yeah, they treated me really badly. But then the second time, leaving the house that I moved out of last year, I had the police crack down on that sort of stuff now. Like, now I've been given full victim support, 3 different like support work charities, that like numbers I can call. Going to have face-to-face counselling and stuff. I actually got to talk to someone tomorrow about face-to-face counselling. Yeah, they're going to call me in the morning.
Okay.
So yeah, obviously I'm looking. I don't think anyone looks forward to starting counselling for abuse, but it'll be good to
Anything that
actually
helps.
get
Of
help
course,
because
yeah.
I feel like I should have had it. Maybe if I'd have had it 5 years ago, I wouldn't have ended up in another abusive situation.
I think it's a good thing because I mean we're talking about it openly now on the podcast,
Yeah.
but even just driving down here on the motorway, just coming up to Hanger Lane, I saw a big billboard that said it was something along the lines of abusers work from home.
Oh yes, I've seen that one quite
Yeah?
a few times.
You've seen
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
And obviously I'm driving here and thinking about yourself, and it just resonated with me, and
Yeah.
it's just it's crazy to think, it's sad to think, and especially during this pandemic, so many
of course.
people are at
Oh,
home,
Because I
can't
think
go
the
anywhere.
figures for that was
Trust
just
me.
increasing like mad. I put my headphones on.
Oh, he hasn't got his
Yeah.
headphones
Oh
on.
no.
I was a
So
rebel.
unprofessional.
It is very
Hey,
Unbelievable.
professional.
rebellious.
We have to start again.
Yeah,
quick one.
rebel.
Before we start on, are you recording the live stream?
No, we save it afterwards.
Okay, wonderful.
So that's
because
why-
we've done that a few times. So we did 2 podcasts recently and forgot to press record on the live stream.
Oh.
So we've got the lovely Eugene, but we haven't recorded the 2 last episodes via live stream. But
So
I've got
when
my
you-
headphones on now.
yeah.
Is this live now?
Oh,
then?
look.
It is, yeah.
You
just
can wave
there.
there.
So you should say hi, say how you doing.
Oh, awesome. Is that's on Instagram?
Should have told you. That's just heard
there we
everything
go.
you said.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I'm not even in shop.
No, you are. Look, I'll show you. Look.
Yeah,
Here you go,
he's
look.
got you on camera.
Oh. Oh
There
yeah.
you are. There you are.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's
So
good.
You're on camera.
Don't sue us. That's what you did. You did say.
I did say,
You did
didn't
say.
I?
We had a
did-
conversation about
I
it.
did say. So for me, I went through your website and I
Oh,
read a-
good. You did go on my website. That's,
Of course,
that's
you
good.
do research.
Yeah,
Oh
okay.
my God.
Some people haven't done research when having me on their show and then just
No,
don't know
no,
what the
no.
hell's going on
You do research.
or how to take me or what.
And I found a few things I found quite interesting was living with PTSD.
Yeah, I've got that.
Help me. First, tell me what PTSD is. I know what it is,
Post-traumatic
but
stress
it's more for the
disorder.
audience.
Post-traumatic stress disorder. With me, it's struggling to live a normal life after 7 years of abuse because I only had 6 months break in between from one abusive situation to the next, and I spent that 6 months primarily just recovering from alcohol addiction. So I didn't feel like I never really had the chance. And now is like I feel like now is the first time I'm actually free, so to speak, and actually being myself and living my life the way I want to. After 7 years, that's a long time, and then all of a sudden lockdown happens. But yeah, so I've had PTSD for when was I actually like officially diagnosed? 2016.
Okay.
So 4 years.
And how does that affect you on a day-to-day basis?
Well, I struggle to live normally. Like if say, okay, so I live with 5 other people. They're really, really nice actors, musicians, martial artists, like the nicest people. I could not ask for a better house, right? It's like literally gone from one extreme to the other. I lived in a dirty hoarder's house until last year. I will touch on that more soon because it's quite funny. Well, morbidly funny. So I've gone from a shithole to a most perfect house. It's like a permanent wellness retreat. I see my house as being. It's
Okay.
really good. But I see if someone has like a little they don't argue with each other, and I've certainly never argued with anyone in there. But if there's any kind of like disagreement, like if someone, like if I put a plate in the wrong place, or if I do something, or someone does puts I don't know, but if there's like any sort of like little disagreement, I just expect it's going to explode and escalate, and that people are going to start screaming at each other or screaming at me, and then it just doesn't happen because they go, oh, all right, sorry about that, mate, and then they just get on with their lives because they're
Wonderful,
normal
right?
people.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
They're not mad.
That's-
And I remember saying to one of my housemates, I was like, oh my God, no, they're all just so lovely. Like the fact you don't like shout at each other. And he was like, that's not called being really lovely. That's called being normal.
It's being normal.
And I've
accepting.
not been around normal people. Really, I haven't. I've certainly not lived with them for quite some time. No, I think I've lived with the extreme end of lunatics, to
Okay.
be quite honest.
So you've been in this house now that you're in during the lockdown period.
Yeah, and you know what? I am just, my mindset has always been, I've coped with a lockdown okay, to be honest, but I'm in the back of my head, I'm really disturbed because I'm thinking, what if I'd been living in that old house when this was happening. And this is very morbid to say, but I don't think one way or another I would have come out of it alive.
I'm glad you did.
One way or another.
But yeah, so the house that you're in now,
Yes.
during the lockdown period, must have been a bag of fun, really.
Oh, it's been so much
Hey?
fun.
What's some of the stuff you've been getting up
Oh
to?
my
You say you've
God,
done a
well,
monologue, right?
Yeah, I did a monologue, but the really fun stuff, the really awesome stuff is we've got a life-size cardboard cutout of Peter Crouch in our living room, as you do,
What's
obviously.
that, 6'7"?
Something like that,
Yeah.
yeah. It was for a project that my housemate did for the BBC, an acting, a very funny project. You know, have you seen Peter Crouch Save Our Summer? Have you heard of that?
It's on Saturday nights?
Yeah.
I watched it on Saturday, yeah.
Oh, but yeah. So he was in. He did a little bit for that.
Okay.
And that's why we had the Peter Crouch. But we didn't know that Peter Crouch cardboard cutout was coming to our house. So my housemate was waiting for a new bed to be delivered, and then the doorbell went. And he answered it, and he thought it was his bed, but it was just this long, thin thing. And he was like, "What?" And it was addressed to him.
Was it out of a
then,
box?
Yeah, it was in the.
So it was Peter Crouch.
It was and then he opened it, and we didn't recognise Peter Crouch, so we were just
dear.
like, "What is this? What is this guy?" So I took a photo of it and put it online. I was like, "Can anyone tell me who is this, and why has it been sent to my housemate?" And then people were like, "Oh, it's Crouchy Peter." And I was like, "Why has someone sent my housemate a cardboard cutout of Peter Crouch?" And we didn't know why. And then they must have the BBC, I think, contacted him and were like, "Oh, did your prop arrive safely?" And then he realised that was it. But can you imagine just expecting a bed and then just opening it as a cardboard cutout of some guy? It was bigger than the bed, yeah. And then when the bed didn't come that day, and the Crouchy was just stood there in the living room, my housemate was like, "To be honest, I'd rather have my fucking bed." I was like, "Have you got Peter Crouch?"
He's asked for that as well, right? They didn't just send that. He's asked for that specifically. They said, "Do you want anything from the set?" And he said, "I want that."
No, they
Crouchy.
just sent it as a prop. He didn't have a clue. He didn't know why
Really?
it was there.
So they okay.
So it's just a random cardboard cutout of Peter Crouch turning up at our house. And nobody knew why, and we didn't know why for a few hours, and we didn't even know who he was.
It's not a bad program as it goes. If you haven't seen it,
No, I've not watched it.
My mum's watched it. I've not.
I just caught it.
I haven't had time to watch it.
I think he was wakeboarding with Joe Cole the other day.
Okay.
It sounds very funny, and I do need to watch it.
Yeah, no, it was all right. But yeah. So saying that, so you've done. You must have. What else have you done since you've been in
So
lockdown
we've
at
got
home?
Peter Crouch. I also started learning martial arts because one of my housemates teaches kung fu, and he's a performer, and he's been all over the world, and he does Chinese New Year where he dresses up as a panda.
Oh, nice.
So pandas.
Yeah, kung fu panda.
The because you actually know, because you've made reference to that as well. So we're jumping all over the place, but
That's
I'll
all right.
I'll
It's
get
cool.
you
I
back.
can keep up.
So with the combat stuff,
Yeah.
and you've made reference to wrestling as well.
Yeah,
So
it's a
is
shame because I
this-
literally just started training to do professional wrestling,
this
and
is
then
like
lockdown happened.
WWE style.
Yeah, definitely. But
Okay.
I do think I'd be. Well, I'm not saying I think I'd be really good at that, but I'm making a lot of progress.
Is
very
it because you're
quickly.
into wrestling,
yeah,
or is it
yeah,
some?
I love wrestling.
So do you know the history of wrestling?
I
As in
stopped,
WWE?
Pretty much, but I stopped. I watched it when I was a teenager, and then I stopped for a bit, for about nearly 7 years actually, when I was not very well. And then I just started watching it again in 2016, and I thought, I can do that. Not I can do that, but like the storyline, the acting, that sort of thing, I'm quite good at. But again, that house that I lived in, just before this current house, that same guy would just be like, "Oh no, if you're going to do wrestling, you'll have to wear, you have to be like a freaky character in a mask so people don't recognize you, because you're going to bring, if people recognize you, then all the other wrestlers, they're going to have pain and suffering brought to their families. Their careers are going to be decimated and annihilated." I was like, "What are you talking
He
about?"
sounds like he could be one of your opponents.
Yeah.
When wrestling.
Well, this is what's really funny
That
is
was
that
scripted.
this guy is so obsessed with me, even after I left, he's called the police multiple times to report my fitness photos on Twitter because I posted a photo of myself in a boxing ring, and he rang the police and said, "I think she's directly threatening me."
Oh my word.
And apparently this has not happened once. That's happened a few times because the police called me and were like, Don't worry, you're not in any trouble. And I was like, good, I haven't done anything to be in trouble.
They're just following up.
And they were like, well, we just have to tell you that you've had reports about your posting on Twitter. And I went, what? And they were like, apparently it's been like as a direct threat. And I'm like, yeah. And did this report come from? And I said the person's name. The officer was like, look, just don't worry about it. It's wasting police time. And I was like, yes, it is wasting police time. And he started doing it at the start of lockdown as well. I just thought, mate,
I don't condone violence.
Like...
I don't condone violence, but when you've got the wrestling practice under your belt, you can do a little bit. You can suplex him. I don't know if you come across him.
Well, apparently I might come across him, because another thing that this this idiot is doing is I put into my Twitter biography wrestler in training, and then I don't look at this guy's social media, but other people send me screenshots, and I have told them I don't want to see what this maniac is doing because it's weird. He's got a load of my stuff still at that house that he's not given back, and I don't know. To be honest, I don't want it back because it's a really it's a really dirty house. Yeah. The landlord and the electrician from the property management from my old house called me and were like, that house, how did you live there? It's disgusting. And I was like, yeah, luckily they sided with me over everything, because the landlord said he'd only been there once, whilst everyone who was living there when I lived there. And I think he had a bit of a feeling that something wasn't quite right.
Okay.
But yeah, so anyway, this dude, he copies me. I put wrestler in training on my Twitter biography, and then a couple of weeks ago I had a screenshot that surprisingly it was someone who used to be one of his fans, but clearly they've fallen out or something's happened. And he was like, look, and this guy had written, he's a pro wrestler in training. And I'm like, if you saw this guy, he's like the skinniest bag of bones.
What was,
he's an alcoholic. Well, I think he's an alcoholic. He might not be now, I don't know, but like druggy. And I thought, mate, you're not a wrestler. And it's obviously he clearly thinks I'm looking at his social media, but I'm not. I think the last time I looked at it was
ages ago, right?
November, I think. And then the stuff he was posting was such utter tripe that I just went, do you know what? I actually just can't look at this because it's so weird. So I myself have not looked at it since November, so I don't know what he's written, but I've seen a couple of screenshots of stuff and it's just psychotic.
What would his wrestling name be?
What would yours be?
I don't know. I'm still thinking.
Who was your favourite wrestler when you used to watch back in the day?
Oh God, there's so many of them. Undertaker, definitely.
Undertaker.
Yeah. Because I met him. Yeah. I met him in Liverpool and actually drank in the bar with him.
Really?
Yeah, I went to a
wrestling
right? show. Yeah, and I was in the bar drinking with like all the wrestlers,
Amazing.
like the actual ones, and they treated me with a hell of a lot of respect.
I went to an event called Body Power.
Yeah. I've heard
Birmingham.
of this. Yeah, Birmingham. Yeah.
And when I went there, they had Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah.
And oh God, what was his? Jimmy something.
Jimmy Hart.
I was about to say with the hearts on his jacket and the megaphone.
Yes, that's him.
Yeah, and he was there as well.
Yeah.
And it was just so surreal to watch it because obviously being
really
10,
mental.
11, 12 years old, watching it back in the day on cable.
Yeah.
Because that's all we had. And digging up the road and laying them down, and then just to see him there. Just a huge, gigantic person.
I mean,
I
think I was at
wrestling.
the same.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Body Power with you. When did you go?
He's only been there once, hasn't he?
That's the same one
Yeah,
I
so
went to. I was there.
Yeah,
I was at the same
but
one.
we didn't know each other then.
I
did we?
calmed down.
I was a lot bigger then, so you wouldn't.
Sorry.
You wouldn't have recognised me. But no, yeah. So that's something that you're going to pursue afterwards. So what's the wrestling scene like in the UK?
I don't know too much about it, to be honest, but I mean, everyone I've met is really nice, really, really nice, and I train with men because there's not really that many women in the. I'm with two schools, one that's currently in Brixton, but it's moving to Hammersmith, and one that's in. Can't remember. It's a little just outside of Hitchin, just outside of Hitchin.
Okay, yeah. I know Hitchin.
And no, everyone there is really nice, and I know that when they say that I'm doing well and that they can see potential, they actually mean it, because they don't, like, I've heard the way they speak, like if I do something wrong, they're quick to say it, but they're really, really honest, and say that obviously I do have the acting background and the comedy background. I speak well. I'm very good on the microphone. Well, I know I'm good on the microphone. And they clearly think I am too, and it's a shame, because I was training a lot, like 2-3 times a week before lockdown, and it gave me something to really focus on, because I have anxiety as well, and I don't like to just sit and do nothing, so I always like to be out doing stuff. And yeah, I mean, I really enjoy it. I've not met a single bad person.
My sister, one of my sister's friends, is a photographer.
Yeah.
And he hangs around with an awful lot of wrestlers.
Oh,
UK
that's cool.
wrestlers. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind sharing your details with each other.
Oh,
I'll give them to you after
Please
this.
do. That would be so cool.
He's extremely into his wrestling.
Oh,
and
perfect.
Yeah, he's good at what he does with regards to photos. But I've just always seen a big not a disconnect. Just the transition from UK wrestling to American wrestling. It's just so much.
Yeah, I mean, I think
so
I'd be
flamboyant.
good for
It's
the
got a lot better.
American.
Yeah, it's got a lot better, because I remember watching when the UK guys actually got into kind of mainstream wrestling in America, and they were not so good. But now you've got loads of top stars from Britain.
Yeah,
doing
there
quite
are.
well. Yeah, doing quite well.
yeah.
I think there's a Scottish guy, big Scottish guy.
Drew McIntyre, Sheamus.
Yeah, Sheamus.
Yeah.
He's not
Drew.
Scottish. Is he Scottish?
Sheamus.
He's
Sheamus is
Irish.
No, he's Irish.
Yeah, I was
He
saying.
said Scottish, I went with it, but Irish.
he's Irish,
he's
yeah.
I'm just gonna do. We take a little 2-minute break.
Cool.
That's cool.
I'm just gonna save this and we can get a drink and then we'll come back on the live.
Yeah, wicked.
Cool.
Edit to the lawyer. They working at 3 a.m. on Christmas Day. That's job dedication, but a shame they're not very good at writing. They're not very good at their job, because
That's
the
all right.
content is crap.
It's gonna be about $1,000 an hour, I think, for that guy.
Yeah, and
And we were, and I was like, yeah, he wrote this, because at first my solicitor was like, is that actually his lawyer that's written it? And I said, no, I said, it's definitely him who's written this, because it's completely insane. Plus, what lawyer works at 3 a.m. on Christmas? And we had a really, really good laugh over it, me and my solicitor. And then they sent him a letter back, just basically saying, this is the worst example of a impersonation of a legal letter that we've ever seen.
It didn't go that far, but one of my friend's ex-boyfriends
Yeah.
didn't do something for her on their anniversary.
Right.
Didn't get her anything.
Right.
And he said, I did get you something. And she was like, well, you forgot. Just admit it, you forgot. And he said, no, it's in the post. And he sent a screen print of the missed delivery, the Royal Mail missed delivery.
Right.
So then my friend went on Google and done a Google image search, and it was the first image that came up. So that's
Oh,
how we
so
that's
he
how we caught him
pretended.
out. And I'm just
Oh,
like,
God.
You know, I'm silent. I've done that before.
you've done it. Oh, so you've done it. All right.
But
So
I've
that's
done that
meant to
same
be nice. That's to make her feel better.
but he hadn't-
This guy did it to make me feel shit.
he hadn't.
It was panic.
He didn't get
It was
anything. though.
hilarious, though.
I was just thinking, there's people out there that do things like that and think that they're going to get away with it.
I mean,
I got away
From
with
that
it, so
end,
it's
your
all right.
scale, all the way down to that scale. It's just that people do it on a daily basis. And
I
you-
got away, so that's all right. But saying that, we're going to move back
Yeah.
into the acting side.
Go
I
on.
saw that you were in Rise of the Foot Soldier 3.
yeah, I was in that. That was 2016. That was really cool. I just played like the daughter of a gangster.
Okay.
We shot that in, I think it was Canning Town.
Which gangster?
It was just I can't do you know what I don't
Have you not
remember. It was
watched
just
Rise of
I
the
haven't
Foot
watched
Soldier?
it again. I have not watched
Do you know
them.
what? I've watched all of the hooligan films, but I don't. They all kind
He had,
of
I think he had long hair. That's all I
merge
remember.
into one.
No, because it was Tony Tucker and what's the other guy? The Essex Boys.
Danny Dyer.
No, not Danny Dyer.
Mm.
It will come to me. Pat Tate.
Pat Tate.
Yeah, Pat Tate, the Pat Tate story.
Yeah, Pat Tate. Sorry, because I watched it. I've now gone down the rabbit hole of watching documentaries based on the Essex Boys.
I'm not really into
I am.
hooliganism, to be quite
Hooliganism.
So you say
hooligan.
you've not watched it. So your show reel.
Yeah,
I take you have a show.
I
reel?
have a show reel.
Yeah. So do you have stuff from these films that you've done on your show reel?
I wasn't able to use Game of Thrones or Rise of the Foot Soldier, unfortunately,
How does that
because
work?
it's not my content.
Really? Is that how?
Yeah,
okay.
that's actually true. I was like quite disappointed about it because I had an agent and they were like, you can't use that. But that's okay because I didn't have loads of lines in Rise of the Foot Soldier.
Okay.
So other like independent comedy projects that I've done, I've got on my show reel because there's more playing
Of you.
characters
Yeah,
that
of
I
course.
like because I'm not a hooligan or a chav. So
Here we go.
That was-
Oh no, this is Rise of the Foot Soldier 4,
That's number 4.
Marbella.
Yeah, so Pat Tate goes to Marbella.
Okay,
He's on the run from the police.
right. Okay. Was that? What was it like being on set for that? English
yeah,
film?
that was really cool. It was a long day. It was about 16 hours, I think,
Mhm.
and there was a lot of just sitting around. But it was cool. I enjoyed it, but yeah, I mean, filming time realistically didn't really take that long. But
Okay.
they had, I think I was supposed to be filming in the morning, and then somebody couldn't stay, or something happened, and then I ended up shooting around 5 o'clock in the afternoon,
Mhm.
and I'd been on set since 8. And there wasn't a really great selection of food, but I did enjoy it. I really did. It was great. I met some really nice people. Who I'm not still in touch with,
I
but
think you meet some interesting people. The last
I
thing,
meet a lot of interesting people.
Yeah, the last thing I did before the lockdown was I was an extra in the new Oliver Twist remake.
Oh, really?
It's a twist, and that was
Oh,
with.
that's cool.
So in the green room we had
Mm.
what's his name? Rafe Law. Is that how you pronounce his name? Jude Law's son,
Yeah.
and the comedian, the English one that did Bo Selector.
Ah.
Keith Lemon.
Keith Lemon.
Yeah, so we were all in there. It was in a restaurant. They'd converted the restaurant
Yeah.
into a green room, and it was just so. You meet some interesting people, but seeing the dynamics of the people on set, you've got the tryhards that really want to be seen by everybody and don't want to talk to people that haven't really got title. And then you've got the people that are in there are just happy-go-lucky, happy to speak to everybody. And I'm envisaging that's you.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you're one of those people, which I often find you're the type of person that's needed in that situation to kind of keep the conversation going. Because like
Possibly,
you say,
yeah.
it's a long day on set. 'Cause
Very long day.
Yeah, I think I got there at 6 a.m. and I left when it was dark.
Okay.
But the food was amazing.
Oh, wow,
So that was my only saving
You're
grace.
lucky. I've not always had amazing food.
One thing that I didn't know is that is etiquette in the green room, and that when the food guys are serving the food,
Yep.
is that you join the queue, and they serve the food for you. I didn't know that. I wasn't aware of that. So I picked up a plate and I just picked up the.
You started eating.
I
Just
started,
like,
and he was like, "Whoa, what do you think you're doing?"
What are you doing,
And I was
mate?
like, "It's
Slow
lunchtime,
down."
bruv. It's lunchtime, bruv." And he goes, "I know what time it is."
There's a queue.
And I was just like, "Whoa, okay." So that was.
You got told.
Yeah, I got told. That was my experience of.
And that's the
green-
last time you
That's
was in
hilarious.
Oliver.
That's yeah, that's why.
Yeah, that
I
you'll
thought
never
so.
be in Oliver
So
Twist
it was-
again.
It's nothing
Was
to
it,
do.
Please, sir, can I have some more? It
Nothing
didn't
to do with the
happen.
pandemic.
No more.
They just didn't ask me to
No,
come
you
back.
cannot have any more.
That's it.
Ever.
But I mean, Oliver Twist was one of my favourite films growing up. To be fair,
Oh, it was before my time.
I-
Sorry.
he's not that much younger than me. To
I'm
be
sorry.
fair.
Yeah, it was before my
He
time.
just plays
Sorry.
plays on it all the time. But with the acting, you've transitioned. So did you go from the modelling into acting? Is acting something you always wanted to do?
That was something I always wanted to do, definitely.
Mm.
And there was a lot of people that were really critical and didn't think I'd be able to do it. And
Well, you're
they,
here now,
but I
woman.
did
You're
it.
here now.
Made
When
And
did-
one person's become is so angry at me.
Okay.
I've got to say, this is. It wasn't funny to start with, but now it's hilarious because it's not affected me negatively. It did at first, but now it's not. There is a person. Again, it's the police are involved, so I can't go into huge detail about it. But who's stalking me?
Okay.
They have become so obsessed with me that they literally, I think they just sit with my Twitter open in one tab like all day looking at what I post. And every time I post something that's like a film company I've worked for, a magazine I write for, they then go and send slanderous messages about me to
To the company.
the company.
Wow.
Now, thankfully, it's not affected anything. No companies that have been contacted have dropped me. In fact, if anything, they support me more. And the magazine I write for, within about, I think it was about an hour of me posting a link to the article, had emailed the owner of the magazine with all this slanderous stuff. And then, this is how lame that person is, how weird they are. they then blocked a response from that company or deactivated their email. I'm not too sure. So they didn't see the response. But basically, the magazine told them where to go.
Okay.
And then as a result of that, they gave me an article to write about stalking and online harassment. So ultimately, I should really be saying thank you to the stalker because they got me some more work. And at one point, because of all the people they'd messaged, people just wanted to give me more work to say fuck you to that guy or woman, whoever it is. We don't. Well, we do. Pretty sure. They've made progress.
Have you ever watched? Is it Catfish?
Yeah.
So that whole.
I'm pretty sure this is someone that I know.
Yeah, but even so, sometimes I think on the Catfish show,
Yeah, it's a
it
mental
is
program.
People, yeah, it is people
Yeah.
that they know. And to hear somebody, it happens again because it's happened to my brother.
It's so weird.
Yeah, someone's
it's
using,
weird.
yeah, his
I mean,
photos.
what sort of person sits there during lockdown just becoming obsessed with me? And it's like, the thing is, it's not even good. I wouldn't have done anything bad to this person because I don't really fall out with people. I don't have I'm a very peaceful person. Obviously, whoever this is, they're insane. But this is what's really funny is that they were trying to lose me work and lose my relationships with people. Instead, right?
Got more
They
work.
strengthened my relationships with these companies, got me more work, and at the beginning of lockdown, they were probably paying about 40% of my rent because the money that I was getting as a result of the jobs that came in as a result of the stalking. Thank you, stalker.
It's amazing. So
You paid my rent.
on the subject of money.
Mm.
So you did marketing and business management before you were modelling,
Yeah, I did. Yeah, when I was a teenager.
and you've also experienced financial fraud, or how did you put it?
Oh,
Financial abuse,
Yeah, you
wasn't
call
it?
it financial abuse or
Financial
economical
abuse.
abuse.
Never heard of that before.
Do you want to go into a little bit of that, or
No, the story behind it, but just what financial abuse
What- yeah,
is.
what financial
well,
abuse is.
in my experience, it was my ex-partner who just tried to control all my money.
okay?
Um,
Because
It's-
so if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. But the point that I was kind of getting at is kind of like the fact that you are now a fully fledged actor, and you're making a living for it, which is sustainable.
I'm not rich.
No, you're not
I've
rich. This is the
probably
thing.
got the least amount of money
No,
I've
no.
had for
So,
quite a while.
Again, when
I don't
everybody-
mind admitting that. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I
Yeah.
do get paid for the acting work I do. Yeah.
So when people look at Hollywood actors
Yeah.
and just believe everyone's rich and famous, they're not. Because I understand. I'm trying to get into the acting industry
not.
myself.
Yeah.
So it's that fine balance between having a part-time job and making it to a audition
Yeah.
and getting from one side of London to the other.
Yeah.
And then there's the difference in being able to leave your house when you want to
Yeah.
in order to get to an audition on time, because you're actually at a point of your career where you can sustain yourself with the income that you're getting.
Yeah,
So
I
is
mean,
that's where you are now?
That's where I'm now. I'm lucky
Which is
because my
amazing.
rent is pretty good. I mean, the old house I lived in, the rent is weird because I was paying far more rent for a place outside of London
Mm-hmm.
than I am actually in a really, really posh part of London. Because where I live, obviously, I am not disclosing exactly where I live, but it's North London.
Please don't.
North London, and the area, it's absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my housemates love it because there's all these mansions and stuff, and yeah, that's great. There are a lot of mansions and famous people that live near us, but I'm not that money driven really. I mean, I like to have money, but I'm not that fixated on like having a mansion. I'd rather be happy. I've learned that more than anything
Mm-hmm.
recently, is that I just want to be happy, and I finally feel that I am actually at a point in my life where
You're happy.
a lot of things have changed. Yeah, I've got a lot of psychological issues that are still there, but I'm clearly getting work. People obviously like working with me because I get repeat work all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's absolutely stunning where I live. I really, really love it. And the rent is cheap, so I'm not under so much pressure to like have a full-time job as well as acting.
Are you with any agencies, or do you do this? Do you apply for roles yourself?
Do you
How
know what?
do-
I had an agent.
yeah.
I had an agent, but they weren't really putting me forward for stuff that,
Mhm.
like, I'm quite a unique character. Like, I need to have an agent that brings that, like, maybe that specializes in comedy, because they were just putting me forward for like sort of very generic, like roles that they're not really going to show the best of
Side.
my ability, to be quite honest. So I just do a lot of it myself now.
So what's your ideal role?
Ideal role.
As in, comedic acting.
Yeah, comedic acting.
Yeah, so-
Something over the top. The comedy that I perform is not like, they are stereotypes of like that women aren't funny or like they just talk about certain things. That is not my style. My style is very much over the top, like a guy acting really. So I've turned down quite a few roles because it's just roles that are like sexualized or are dumb. The comedy is the woman being stupid, or I like roles that are out there, crazy. Like you make me sound really big-headed saying that I'm really
I know, right?
unique.
I'm seeing no joke.
But yeah, I'm not big. Trust me, I'm not big-headed. I just know I'm starting to learn to have a bit more confidence.
Of course.
But I've got a hell of a long way to go. But now my housemates are very good at bigging me up and making me feel good about myself, which is something I've never actually had before. So, well, other than my parents, and my parents are great, but obviously I hadn't lived with them for 7 years.
So if you still had an agent, or someone reached out to you tomorrow and said, "Look, I've got this great role for you," what would the great role be?
Pretty much like what I described, something over the top, something.
We're talking sitcoms, movies. Ideally, where do you want to see yourself in the next couple of years? Is it to be involved in a sitcom or your own stand-up show, or you want to go over to Hollywood? I
think I would love to go to Hollywood. Yeah, don't see that happening, but you never know. It would be a lead role in a film, something very out there, quirky and different, something mad, like very over the top.
Any examples?
Not really. I don't. To be
Doesn't
fair, I
watch
don't
film.
really.
You don't watch films?
No, I do, but I don't really
with herself.
compare myself to anyone else because, like, I don't know. I'm just.
But like a film, rather than comparing yourself to another actor, but like a film to be in. I'm just trying to think of a quirky film.
I don't know, to be honest. I'm not the most.
Okay.
Like, I don't always. I have never. To be fair, I didn't really watch lots of films because I haven't lived a conventional life for so long that I'm not really that knowledgeable on.
No, that's fine. I think
films and actors and stuff. There's a lot of the
the
time
same.
when I'm on set and people are talking about films and actors and like, oh, you know so and so and this, and I'm like, yeah. But the thing is, I don't, because I literally have not lived a normal life.
Okay.
So I think we're getting to the true essence of you, which is essentially you
I'm
want to be an
learning-
actor,
yeah.
because it makes you feel a certain way, maybe, or
Yeah, and I really
is it
enjoy it.
a type of escapism for you, or
Yeah,
you just prefer,
definitely.
you enjoy taking on different personas and what have you, which is similar to the reason that I like doing it.
Yeah.
Is exactly that.
Yeah.
There's a great quote that I'm trying to think of at the minute, but I think it's a Meisner quote. It will come to me. But yeah, so it's kind of like when you are acting, do you feel comfortable being yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I love it.
And do you borrow traits from people that you've known over the years, or is it just you and you into character?
I'm not really sure what that means. I'm just me.
Just me. That's fine. I'm
I'm
just
just
trying to
me.
understand because we haven't got any reference points of what sorts of films. So I was just kind of trying to get an understanding of what sort of.
I don't know, just some. Sorry, my mind sometimes goes blank. I'm not.
That's fine. We got all night.
No, we don't have all night.
You don't have all night?
No, joking.
How long have we been on? We've been on for an hour already.
Yeah, we've been for an hour.
But with the again with the acting, so that
Yeah.
came at the end of your modelling career,
Yeah.
and you didn't necessarily like the modelling career.
No.
And is there any? You're saying a lot of the people that were working within the industry just weren't very great. But I think it's with platforms like this now and the refuge stuff that you do as well.
Yeah.
There's just so many opportunities that you get to speak out about this sort of stuff. And I find that all of these sorts of industries, acting, modelling, music, whatever it might be,
Yeah.
people are now getting called out instantaneously about anything that they do, or even historical stuff that they've done.
Yeah, well, people seem to have an issue with me because I would speak out about people doing bad things. I wasn't afraid to, like, speak out about stuff, and some people didn't like that and then didn't want to work with me in case they pissed me off and I would talk about it. But the thing is, I'm not one of these, like, weird attention-seeking models that just accuse who gets like blind drunk and does something stupid and then starts accusing people. You know, I'm sensible. I'm not unstable. I met a lot of unstable people. I mean, there was one time when I genuinely was worried for someone's mental health. I was at a networking event, and there was this one girl who I'd worked with, I think, about a year before, very briefly, and had no issue whatsoever with her. But she developed some kind of issue with me. And then when I say she spent the majority of her night, I mean she spent the majority of her night. Like in a nice event where there's free champagne, networking, it's a good opportunity, you know, for her to network and meet people. Yeah. So you would assume somebody who was sound of mind probably wouldn't follow another person around shouting their name all night and then ducking behind friends, laughing hysterically and falling over. And somehow she was under the disillusion that this was mocking me in some way. She'd like shout my name and then like duck behind. And other people were like, what are you doing? And I remember at one point, I wanted to go, you know, are you okay? Like, can I help you? Do you need to sit down? Do you need water? Do you need your carer? Do you need a carer? Do you need a psychological checkup? You know, because that's weird. And in the end, I just let her get on with it. And I'm not even really sure what happened after that. But I'm presuming she followed me around for a while longer. Very, very strange. But yeah, I mean, that kind of thing. That's obviously some sort of psychological issue. Very, very odd.
It's the alcohol, the issues that you had with that.
Yeah, I was an alcoholic, but I didn't, you know.
Was that this is all at the same time as the modelling stuff and everything else?
Yeah, it's very easy to develop addictions in that industry. Yeah,
I can imagine.
No, that's my point. Is it because of the industry, or is it because of the outside influences?
To be honest,
that you have?
it was more the relationship I was in because my ex was an alcoholic and a drug addict.
Okay, you said.
So I was around it all the time.
And how are you with alcohol now?
Oh, I don't really drink.
You don't touch it?
Not really. I mean, I drank on New Year's Eve. That was really cool. But it goes, it's like I'll be fine and then I'll just feel really, really drunk because I don't do it very often. So and to be fair, the hangovers I get are terrible. It makes me feel really anxious and miserable. So I just see it's better not to really. Plus, because I do so much fitness stuff, it kind of cancels it out if I was drinking all the time.
Is fitness something that helps you with your anxiety?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I've kept to it very much since I was in lockdown. I think I started to say earlier, my housemate, he's a martial artist.
Yep.
Kung Fu,
Kung Fu, and he's been training me. But the one really annoying thing that happened, I've got an arm injury. Well, it's actually okay now, but I had to have my arm in like a full-on strap for about 3 weeks. I pulled, I can't remember exactly what it was, something in my
bicep.
Yeah, and a tendon.
Yeah, bicep
something,
tendon.
Yeah. And they were talking about having to have like shockwave therapy if it didn't like, because I was saying I need to be better like as soon as possible, because I'm going to be training and all this. And then she said, well, the only way we would have to shock it or give you an injection, and I don't like the sound of that. And I was terrified. I was like, oh no, I'm going to be out for months and months. And I thought, hang on, it doesn't really matter if it's going to take me months to recover because nothing's open anyway. So yeah, and what's really great is that it's pretty much better now because I mastered it. I did everything I was supposed to, and it was so difficult to not train. Like having to stop doing the martial arts was really difficult. But I'm okay now. I'm not able to do martial arts quite yet. I can't do anything that puts too much pressure onto my arms. So no wrestling for a little while. But that's fine because the wrestling schools are not opening anyway until a lot later in the year, if they do open this year.
Michael's a big
I hope they do.
MMA fan.
Massive MMA.
Massive.
You know MMA?
Mixed martial arts.
Yeah,
I do know
There's
what that means. I do know the definition of the sport I partake in.
Yeah. You know your arm injury. Again, something just coincidentally I watched yesterday.
Shoot.
It was 15 things that you didn't know about the Matrix.
Oh
Okay.
God, that.
It was Keanu Reeves.
Oh, don't. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying.
No, I've got a funny story about the
bad.
Matrix.
No, go on. I did it off. It's not a bad thing, but he had a leg injury at the beginning of the filming. So there's only one scene where he actually kicks in it.
Okay.
Considering all the
that's
fighting
actually,
and the martial arts.
that's
Matrix
quite fascinating.
The first one, Matrix.
Yeah, first Matrix.
Okay.
So when
I'll
he's
watch it,
in
rewatch
the dojo
Yep.
and he's training with Morpheus, that's the only time that he does kicks.
Okay.
And then
Trying to think back to the film now.
yeah, but no, go on. What's your Matrix story?
The thing is, it is about one of the people I've mentioned before. That lunatic that I used to live with in
He
my
dressed
old
up
house.
as
No.
Neo.
Well, he thought. Well, my ex from modelling thought he was Neo.
Right.
He knew every single word to the Matrix film off by heart. I'd have to sit in a dark room whilst he put the Matrix on, and he knew every single word of dialogue. I do find the Matrix attracts a particular type of person.
Well, I like the Matrix.
I like Matrix.
Yeah, but it can attract complete weirdos. And
Well, I
then
think
the
that's you,
guy
Johnny.
who I used to live with, my old housemate, he told me that the best business decision I could ever make would be to give him £450 a month so that he could save up, and by the end of next year he could buy a replica pair of pants that was used in one scene of The Matrix on one take, and it was like £1,600.
Wow.
And he went, it's the best business investment that you will ever make.
What, a pair of pants?
Yes, and they weren't even the original pair.
With all that money, you can buy. You'd never have to buy pants again if you just go to Primark.
I know, you could just go. And I went to him. No, I was like, I'm not. I was like, mate, I'm not going to give you £450 a month for pants. And he was like, but they're Neo's pants. I went, yeah, mate, this is a pair of fucking pants. Okay,
Right.
I'm not going to give you that
Dedication
money.
to the cause,
It's
that
not the
is.
best business investment I could ever make. Sorry to burst your bubble. As generous an offer as it is, it'll shape my career. Oh, my finances will improve because I invested in a pair of pants. But yeah, seriously, what a weirdo.
Mate,
I don't think he ever did get his pants.
People have sold air.
I
and
can
hair.
believe that.
Yeah?
Yeah, from actors. I've seen it on eBay. and
They've
stuff
sold
like that.
air.
Yeah.
For which actor?
As in, no, I'm just gonna make this up, but it's stuff like it's like Johnny was on set with Johnny Depp. This is some of his breath in a jar, essentially,
and someone
and it
bought
will say Johnny Depp breath, and they'll start the bidding at
Well, I
like
bet
a grand.
people- yeah,
That's what I mean.
yeah,
And people
it's
go
mental.
on and actually bid for it and buy
No,
it.
I know someone who used to would go to auctions and like put down thousands on like nonsense.
Yeah, no, it is. So it's a good game to get in. I might have to make a note of that. Actually.
Yeah, not my world, not my world.
Emma
So what
Bryant
type of training
breath.
you do then? So you said you do wrestling training. You
Yeah.
also do kung fu. What other stuff are you doing?
I do pole fitness as well.
Okay, cool. Pole fitness
which
is like
is-
pole
You able to do
dancing
this at
Yeah,
home?
like that. No, I do that at a studio, which is
Okay.
near to me. Although that's shut at the moment, and I'm really quite disappointed because they are reopening now, and I would be able to go back to it, but they are not encouraging people to take public transport to get there, and I'd be getting the train. So it would
Okay.
mean I'd get the train, and I'd have to get a taxi to the studio, and then a taxi back, and then the train. It's just going to come too expensive.
Isn't the underground the best place to actually
catch stuff.
travel there with the poles that they have in the carriages? You
Oh,
can actually
dude,
practice
this is just
your
on
way.
the train. Oh, I just got what you meant.
I got it
Yeah.
as soon as you said the underground.
Hey?
Because I don't go on the underground to get to it. But
Oh,
yeah,
right.
but no, I'm a bit disappointed because it means I can't train for a bit longer.
It's,
Because it's
but
good
it's
fitness.
alright.
Pole fitness is sound.
Well, no, you said this is what I was
Core
asking about
stability,
the
Yeah,
the
it's not
anxiety.
sleazy or anything.
No, that's why I was asking you about the anxiety and stuff because when we went into the lockdown, that's when all of the gym guys and girls became even more anxious, whether
Yeah.
they were suffering from anxiety in the first
I wasn't
place. But then it was,
happy.
it's kind of like, where'd you go? Because place of solitude that you go and release all of this
Tension.
Well, I do
negative
lots of
energy.
yoga anyway, so I've been doing that in my room. But again, when
Okay.
I injured my arm, I couldn't do that.
Mhm.
And I've only just started to do that in the last week. And that really sucks because I have to put a strap on my arm every time I do it to like keep the arm and that in
Certain
place.
position,
Yeah, I think. So yeah, I'm pleased to be doing yoga again. Luckily, I've got a big back garden, like massive, and there's so much like greenery and parks and lakes and stuff around where I live. So it's like just really nice to go out and I can just go for a run. And I used to go for a run at night because it's so safe where I live. Like I do not feel scared walking around at night. Whereas like anywhere else I've lived, I wouldn't go out of a house after like 10 o'clock because it's all strange.
I know, and it all plays on your mind the
People.
whole time.
Yeah, but I genuinely feel really, really safe in the area that I live. I feel safe in the house that I live. But yeah, another thing with PTSD is I expect something bad to happen
Okay.
at any time. I just think something's going to blip on. And if like it's really quiet in the house, I just expect someone to start an argument, even though I know that is never going to happen in my house. But that's just places
the
I've
line.
lived before. Like on Christmas Day 2019, the guy that one of the people I lived with, threw the Christmas tree across the room and went out the window.
Okay. As a joke, or
No, because he was angry about something. He didn't
Okay.
like Christmas, and
Didn't
he
like
made
his
sure that
present.
everyone else in the house knew how much he doesn't like Christmas. No, he smashed up the Christmas tree. So there was
Wow.
like bits of like tree and lights and stuff going all over the living room.
And there wasn't
I-
that conversation when we were buying the tree to say, "Hey, I'm buying a tree now. We're gonna get some decorations." You cool with trees? There wasn't that conversation at the start.
Well, we bought one that already had like decorations on it from the supermarket.
Okay.
And I'd only finished decorating it like a few days before, and then
then
it
you
just ended up
threw it
going all over. I thought, well, I'm not going to bother putting it back up now. We can just go back in its box. There's 30 quid wasted.
Serious question: real tree or fake tree? What do you prefer?
Oh, I don't know. I always used to have a real one when we were growing up. My parents always have a real one. I mean, I
Always.
do love the smell,
Mm.
but also I don't really think.
It's not practical, is it? You got
yeah.
to hoover it up.
We had a fake one. We've always
Yeah, the
had a
fake
fake tree.
But here we go. This is what you're going
I've
to say
never
because you're
had-
younger than me now. This is what you're
Mm.
going
No,
to
no,
say.
because I'm younger, but we never had a real tree.
Growing up, we always had a real tree.
Yeah, I always had a real one.
And then the smell of it. But now we've got a fake tree. When I realised
Eugene,
Christmas, when I
real
found
tree.
out
Get a
Father
fake
Christmas
tree
wasn't
and
real,
spray it with
Real
scent,
tree.
with pine scent.
you can do.
Fake tree or real tree? Fake tree.
But you're lazy, bruv.
Fake tree.
Huh?
Yeah.
I was
see?
raised with a fake
He was
tree.
raised with
One day a year.
Fake tree. No, always. We've always had a fake tree.
In my defense, I always wanted a real tree. My parents weren't having it. It's like
Too much mess.
I told
Yeah,
you.
too
Listen,
much mess.
I told you every time Eugene talks, we've got to pay him. So let's just crack on. He
Well, he's
doesn't.
my cameraman.
There we go.
He's my cameraman. We've got a film that we're shooting soon. He's my cameraman. So
What are
Shoot.
some of the projects that you've got coming up that you might want to share with people that are listening, or where can people
Find
find you
you.
if you pick
Yeah,
up your
projects I've got coming up. Yeah, one of them I can't talk about
Mhm.
because it's like, well, I've just been told not to disclose anything at the moment, but it's going to be really fun.
Mhm.
Although saying that, I don't know when production will start because it involves like quite a lot of people.
Mhm.
Hopefully later this year. I've just filmed just before lockdown a superhero comedy parody, which again I don't know how much I'm able to say, but that's coming out. I believe actually in a couple of weeks.
Mhm.
Which would be good. I'm doing a lot. I did an interview for a corporate magazine, which was a really big deal for me because it's so different to magazine interviews I've done before. It's like a legitimate corporate magazine. That was supposed to be out in May, but there was they were short staffed or something had happened because of the lockdown and everything with them got delayed, but ended up working out all right because I ended up they interviewed me more, so I had a bigger feature in the end. Didn't get paid anymore, but I don't really mind, to be quite fair, because it's a big deal, and it's like a magazine that's in the like waiting rooms of doctors and like law firms.
Mhm.
So that's out. Do you know what? I don't know. I would hope soon.
Well, we can. What we'll do is we advertise it on our page as well.
Yeah,
And
well,
our
that's cool.
and socials
Everything.
that we've got. So all of your stuff that you've got coming up, we'll assign it to the picture and the tab that you've got on our page.
Oh
So
yeah,
this is
yeah,
what I mean.
that's
So
really cool.
yeah, so if you share with us all of your, I mean, we've got them anyway because you've been on the website.
yeah,
but
no, I've got the
we'll put that
website, so
up.
we put the
So if
website
there,
on there.
as and when you've got more information about the stuff that you've got that's coming out,
Yeah.
just give us a message, give us a shout, and then we'll have a look at it and promote it for you as well.
Oh,
So
that
pe-
would be
just
really,
so
really
people can
good.
have a look at what you're
Definitely.
doing.
Well, I'm going to be doing more charity work. I
Excellent.
volunteer on a farm in Vauxhall Farm.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully I can get back to doing that again soon. But at the moment, I don't think it's a great idea for me to start volunteering there again yet. But I will be. I'm actually writing an article about my volunteer work with that farm for the magazine that I write for. So just remember that I need to get the article written in the next couple of days
Mm-hmm.
because the
Fantastic.
deadline's coming up like really soon.
Mm-hmm.
But,
And have you done any auditions whilst you've been in lockdown that you're waiting to hear back from? Have you?
I'm waiting to hear back from one, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised I got shortlisted because the character's 17.
Mm-hmm.
I'm nearly 30. But I mean, that's a compliment because clearly
That's
I
fine.
look young, looking past for looking young, because I didn't realise when I applied for it, I thought it said, I just didn't look at what the age specifications were, and then the lady casting director called me and was like, yeah, we'd like for you to try out for this role, and gave me this like long self-tape script, and my housemate helped me to record it, and she said, just heads up, the character's 17. And I was like, okay, and she was like, you're 24. I was like, oh, thank you. 29 and a half actually, but she said I could that it would be okay, so I'd be quite happy if I ended up getting that role.
Nice.
I've got a feeling they might cast an actual teenager.
You never
But,
know. I got sent. Someone sent me. It was an advert for FIFA,
Okay.
the computer game,
yeah,
and they were like, "You talk about the team you support, how passionate you are, who you watch the games with." It was kind of like to do with the whole being at home on lockdown and how you interact with the football and how you enjoy it.
yeah.
So I did it. I did my self tape and everything, and then I said, Becky, this is for 15-year-olds. It says 13 to 15. And I said, maybe I should have clocked that when they were saying how passionate you are about a computer game. Yeah. And I'm in my late 30s getting real passionate about it, saying, yeah, I love it. And
Fantastic.
Oh, that's hilarious.
so, yeah, I didn't submit it.
Oh, you didn't do it in the end?
No, well,
You submit
listen,
anyway.
I was going to put a wig on, or just say that
Just
I just
submit
I like a
anyway.
bald head. I shave my head.
Well, why did she let you do it? If...
She didn't see the age. But that's it. This is this.
Should've
So
just done it anyway.
Yeah, you submit anyway, because you never know. They might just say, you know
Might
what,
have
we
just
were
gone,
really
yeah,
impressed.
great.
We're going to put you in there. We'll just say it's someoone's dad.
Oh yeah, there you go, mate. I might see. You know what? I'm just gonna send it.
It's
by
even
accident.
worse.
Send it.
I'm just gonna send it by accident. Say, oh, didn't mean to send that to you,
Yeah,
but
just send it.
if there's any jobs going,
You
never
should
know.
actually send it. It's funny.
Send it.
I will do. I will do.
Yeah, no, it's a must. It's a must.
I think we're coming to the end now.
Yes,
So
well, I
I
thought you would.
will thank you massively, and I really appreciate you taking
Oh,
the time
that's
to
all
come
right.
in.
And do you know what? I could have talked for at least another hour more.
It's this
Maybe
the
you
things
should get me back.
we've got part twos to do on a couple of people.
we do, yeah. We
you now
do,
you
we
have
do.
another one.
We do indeed.
So happy to go into more detail, especially about the refuge stuff. Which
Yeah.
is,
Oh God, there is so we have literally just scratched the surface
Yeah.
of my weird and wonderful life.
because that's a topic that's quite close to home for me, and I just really like to get the message out there to people,
Oh,
so they know
definitely.
they know where to go. I mean, we could even talk about it now. We've got 5 or 10 minutes or so, but
I think for something like that,
You need more
you
than
need
5 or
more
10
time.
minutes.
So, and also what I can do is I can speak to Refuge and I can maybe get some information from them, like
Yeah.
points they'd want me to discuss.
Mhm.
Because I'm sure they'd be very, very happy for me to do this because obviously I do a lot of their public speaking anyway.
yeah,
That's fantastic.
okay, that's
And it
brilliant.
makes me look good as well to them. So
No, it's good because
Yeah.
every platform is a valuable platform. So it doesn't. I always find it doesn't matter if you have one person that watches you, to 100,000 people that watch you.
I've got
It's
quite
that-
a large online following, so I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that people will.
No, I just
We'll
meant
watch.
in general is that there's people out there that don't necessarily know where to go, what to listen to. So they might be watching our podcast because they know either of us,
Yeah.
and it might just flick a switch in their head when they listen to a particular person talking
Mhm.
and give them the impetus. How do you say the word? Impetus.
Yeah, well, kind of. Yeah, I know what you're trying
You
to
know
say.
what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say.
It will give them a kick up the bum.
To do
Like a
something.
light
Put it like
bulb
that,
moment,
like a light
perhaps,
bulb moment.
yeah.
Yeah.
To do something.
I-
And they
That's
might
the
not
phrase.
talk to me about it. They might not talk to Michael about it. They might.
But then they will go on the Refuge website
Yeah.
or any
It's
of
a
the,
pretty
the
easy
websites.
to navigate website, and they run the 24-hour domestic violence helpline as well, which has helped me out like loads. It's crazy because like I've called it quite a few times, and I never once thought, oh, you know what, I'm actually going to end up working for this company,
Mhm.
Okay.
and it's really good. I kind of like there's part of me that wants to train to become one of the operators
Yep.
for when you call, but the thing is, I don't think that I'm quite mentally strong enough to. I haven't conquered and gotten through all my own problems yet, so I'm not sure I'm really equipped to help anyone else because I keep
stage.
getting told a lot like I could train to be a counsellor. Like when I was speaking with the police about, oh God, the police were involved in the ending of my last tenancy because unfortunately I was assaulted the night that I left.
Mhm.
And then this insane, weird stalker. Oh, that's another odd thing the stalker did. How deranged do you have to be to read interviews and listen to podcasts where someone's talking about the abuse that they've suffered and how they want to help people, me, and then still want to slander them and like this guy or whoever it is. See, I was thinking it might have had. The person may have been something to do with my old house, but from what the police have managed to track.
The person down.
I can't say too much, but they'd be very stupid if they did it again, whoever
Okay.
it is. It didn't turn out well. They've got a location. Let's just put it that way.
With fingers crossed they can pick that chap.
I hope so. But what they were doing, the person, like, I mean, they were reading interviews that I'd done where I'm talking about fucking self-harm and suicide attempts, and then just right at the bottom, then start writing shit, nonsense
Yeah. No, that's
and
terrible.
slander towards me. I mean, you know, you got to be a very special kind of deranged to.
Especially on the way.
It's a very special kind of special. Forget being a few biscuits short of the packet.
Yeah.
They're missing the protective wrapping that the biscuits come in and the entire packet.
Well,
Definitely a few hairs short of a hippie's beard.
They could be ahead of the game because we need to get rid of packaging at the moment, I think.
Yeah.
Biodegradable.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, so, biodegradable personality, which is edging away
Few
at
ha-
them.
Few fries short of a Happy Meal. Missing the whole packet of fries,
There
missing
we
the
go.
toys, missing the burger. And in fact, the Happy Meal just doesn't exist. They're
There
that
we go.
mental. There we go.
I'm
yeah.
sure I've left a complete Happy Meal at the restaurant once as well. We won't go into that.
Okay, cool. I don't know if that code or is that.
Yeah,
no.
so is that code
It's
for
for the kids.
something?
No, it's for the kids. And I've driven up, didn't go to the drive-through,
Yeah.
parked up in the parking space to run in, to quickly grab it all and then come back out.
Mm.
Quickly grabbed it all, came back out, got home, only got one Happy Meal,
Okay.
but I've got 2 kids.
So it's time to
2
share.
kids to live
Oh,
at home. I've
no.
got 3 kids.
Yeah.
2 live at home, and the other one is old enough to be out and about now. So there we go. That's another bit of stress I've got to worry about there, but don't worry. But yeah,
Nice
so
little story there.
no, it's a great little story. I go off on
That's very
tangents.
Yeah.
spontaneous.
I go
was
off.
just like, wow.
I go off on tangents. We talk about McDonald's. I've got it's what do they call it?
It's ingrained. Go on.
Whose line is it anyway? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah. I
How
remember
good was that?
Yeah, that was a great show.
Great
I'd
programme.
love to be on something like that.
There you go. So there's something that you'd like to
Oh, definitely.
So
Or
if your
game
agent calls you
shows and
tomorrow,
things, yeah.
that's it. Whose line is it anyway? We got there in the end. That's it.
Well, definitely a comedy show, a panel show. I've done a few of those,
Yeah.
just like independent ones, like for student productions
Uh-huh.
and web series. But I really, really enjoyed that, and I've hosted a few of them as well. So yeah, anything like that, game shows, really, I really enjoy
Yeah,
that.
no, that's cool. Might have to watch some when I get home now. But no, thank you very much, Emma. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
And,
been really, really
um,
good.
We'll
Time
definitely
flies.
we'll definitely hit you up again, and be sure to share all of your socials with us, which I'm sure Michael's got already. We'll put them on the page,
We'll do.
Yeah.
We'll do.
and then
Links in the description below.
link in the description below.
Link in the description below.
Yeah,
There's a
link
lot
in
of
bio,
things.
etc., etc. And there we go.
All
Yeah,
the
no, I
good
think we're
stuff.
good. Emma, thank
You're
you
good.
so much.
Oh,
Been a
fantastic!
pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
very
you very
much.
much. I look forward to coming back because I hope you do get me back.
Will do. And we're
Wonderful.
out.